Hello and welcome to Supra. Today we're looking at FillFinder Plus Automation applied to February 2018 gold futures, and we're looking at Monday, January 22nd, 2018, and just highlighting a easy to find, easy to work potential trade opportunity. And so looking at the 19th, last Friday, we've got a series of very close highs, where the market has reacted in numerous instances near this same 1334.9 over here, 1334.8, up to 35.5. And so looking at this as a potential resistance, the market has opened really almost seamlessly right along with Friday's pullback. It's just picked up right where things left off, which is ironic how that happens sometimes. And so anyways, looking at this open below recent potential resistances, the idea is to simply treat this zone as a potential, at a minimum, a location where the market could slow down, potentially pull back, and inevitably there, if it does slow down, if it does pull back, there could be an opportunity to jump in short and pick up some profit if and when the market sells off, as it has here recently near this 1335 area. And so that's the very basic, very simple, very easily accessible information. You don't need any special tools. It's all just right there, and this is just day session data, as you probably could tell already. And so now just going to zoom in just a little bit, and so just going to our zone high, zone low, we're going to activate resistance 1334.9, 1335.5, activate, and going to put a few more contracts on the smaller quantity, the smaller profit objective, and then a few fewer on a smaller quantity 2 than quantity 1, And so we're looking at 1334.9, 1335.5 as potential resistance, and that's simply derived from the recent highs that have elicited a sell side response from just the most recent day session back on the 19th, last Friday. And so now it's just a matter of waiting and watching and seeing if the market is able to test up into this area, if it's able to trade in there. First of all, does it slow down? And second of all, does FillFinder recognize an actionable situation where we could get in short and potentially look to make some profit if the market's able to pull back as it has recently at this zone? And so now we'll just wait and let the market show the way. Okay, so picking up now, quite a bit of time has gone by. The market's now touched into and now is trading up at 1335, 34.9 at the moment. And so now we'll just observe and see if we're able to get any type of an indication from FillFinder. If you've watched any of our videos here on our YouTube channel, you may have noticed a bright blue arrow that will appear. That simply indicates that the market has generated a potential stopping event, and an event that denotes stopping activity, directional stopping activity. And so that'd be the first indication. If you are sitting at your desk, you're able to see and get an indication that perhaps a trade is shaping up. You don't have to be at your desk. Obviously, FillFinder will work regardless. And so we've already told it what we're interested in. We're looking for in this price zone. We're anticipating a potential at least halt in the upward movement and a potential pullback. In the process, we're looking at the potential for the market to give us a trigger to get in short based on an order book imbalance, which FillFinder will read. That's the luxury of the algorithm, is you can tell it where you think the market's likely to turn based on recent events. And today we've based it on just very recent, last Friday, multiple instances where this was a turning point. And so really that's the gist of the idea. It's quite simple. And so now just applying that into today's session, the market has come up And so now it's just a matter of time to see whether or not the market will generate anything in the way of a stopping price first, and then in the way of a potential imbalance that will trigger FillFinder to take the trade short and manage the trade, etc. It'll put in the stops, put in the targets, and do all of the busy work. So now it's just a matter of waiting and watching. Okay, so a little bit more time has gone by, and now we can see we've got 1335.1 listed as a potential stopping event. And so now it's just a matter of whether or not the market gives us anything more to work with. It is trading in the zone now, so at any time FillFinder could detect an imbalance and take the trade short. Simultaneously, once the short entry is filled, the stop loss will go in custom fitted to the trade opportunity itself, along with profit objectives. There are two that are used, and both of those are dynamically sized as well with each individual trade. The quantity 1 contracts will exit at a smaller target, quantity 2 at a larger target, and the stop and the targets will be highlighted on screen. The stop is a red horizontal line, and the targets are both blue horizontal lines, and they start out rather small. As time goes on, they become more visible. I'll go ahead and turn this crosshair off so we can see a little easier. And so now we'll just let this trade, and hopefully FillFinder will have something to work with here, and we may have an opportunity. Okay, so far market's just hovering near the high. It's now pushing up a little bit more, 35.2.3. And so now we'll just continue to observe. But the market has gotten right into the same highs from last Friday, that same general vicinity. The market last Friday did not have humongous moves to the downside, but it did relent, and there's certainly enough to work with there. If you're short from 1335 and it pulls back to 33 even, that's still a decent enough amount of movement to get a decent profit per contract. And so now it's still just a waiting game to see whether or not there's anything to work with up here. Market just hovering in the zone.
Order pending.
Okay, so the fill just took place here. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. 1334.9 is the fill price. And so now it's just a matter of whether or not we'll get to our first profit objective, 34.5. So we're looking for a plus 4 tick outcome for the quantity 1, the smaller target. 34.9 is our fill price. The initial stop starting at 35.5, which is a 6 tick risk, so a little bit of a difference in size there. 6 ticks on the risk side, 4 on the profit on the small target. Larger target, 33.5, and so we're looking for a $1.40 from 34.9 down to 33.5 for the larger target. And so in this case we've got a stop at 35.4 now. The entries 34.9, so that's a risk of 5 ticks per contract, and the 2 remaining contracts, so there's 5 ticks times 2 contracts. And then already what has happened on the smaller target, there's been plus 4 ticks on 4 contracts, and so still risking 10 ticks and have already picked up 16 ticks. And so now we'll just continue to let this play out. Okay, so just to reiterate, the risk and the profit objectives are dynamic with each individual trade opportunity. So typically the initial risk and the smaller target are typically sized similarly, but there are times where you get slight differences where the target might be a little smaller or might be a little bigger than the initial risk. And then once the trade, as we see here, once the trade does cooperate, sometimes the stop will go all the way to entry, sometimes it will be within a tick or 2. And in this case we can see it's about 5 ticks off. And again, that's just a dynamic situation depending on each individual opportunity and the structure that each individual produces for itself. And so just wanted to clarify that the size of things overall, the size of the risk, the size of the smaller target do typically average out to be roughly the same. But obviously any average. Some are going to be very well matched or in favor of the smaller target. Other times the risk will be a little bigger than the smaller target. So anyways, still trade here is doing decently with the current status. The risk has been taken out of the trade, and now just looking for that larger target to fill. And if so, this will be a great trade. We'll have plus 4 ticks on the smaller and plus 1.4 $1.40 on the larger target, and so plus 14 ticks. All right, now we're down below 1334 and now sitting currently 33.9. The larger target is now a little more obvious. Our horizontal blue line has increased, and that'll be a nice pickup on the larger with 14 ticks. That's a per contract. That's a nice take on a pretty simple idea and a pretty straightforward situation where we could see since the open all weekend we could see a reaction took place in this general 1335 vicinity, and so we had the chance to work with this well in advance, not knowing of course if the market was going to continue to sell off, or we don't know what it's going to do, but we do know that recently this elicited a selling response. And so that's the idea behind using this zone here. And as it turns out, the market has retested it. We're now at 33.8. So the market's looks like it's backing off a little bit. Small target is already filled, plus 4 ticks. And now just looking for the larger target, still waiting on it. And so we'll just continue to observe. Had a question recently with regard to managing the trade. One longer term trader said he looks for larger profit objectives than what Supra provides, and you can simply turn off. It's okay, and so it just filled, and so we got our push 1333.5 short from 1334.9, and so a nice 14 tick push to the downside. And you can, if you want to go for a larger move, say the bigger target just isn't what you're after, say, what if neither of the targets are not what you're after, you can use FillFinder to clarify the entry, to execute the entry for you and give you that initial risk protection that's custom fitted to the opportunity. And then if you do want to go for bigger targets, if you do want to, perhaps you have a different approach that you want to implement for the exit, you can always just disable the strategy and then just input whatever orders fit your operation. And so it can, you can incorporate that flexibility into it where you can just take over and impose your own exit strategy, but use FillFinder to get you very nice low risk entry scenarios. And so that's a look, took a little while, but that's a look at sell short opportunity. Very easy to locate, very easy to find in advance, and then it's just a matter of waiting for the market, seeing if it's going to even get into the zone, and if it does, how FillFinder behaves. And so hopefully this helps you see how to use FillFinder plus automation. And also with regard to locating zones, locating opportunity areas where the market has a likelihood of slowing down, perhaps reversing. If you're looking for assistance with that, we do offer training, and you're more than welcome to contact me. You can just simply comment. Also remember to subscribe if you like what you see, and if you'd like to learn more about order flow automation, you're more than welcome to subscribe to our channel, post a comment, and I'll promptly get back with you. So everyone, trade safely, and look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.